Chapter 1. The Mysterious Language of Dreams. Have you ever woken up from a dream that felt too real to ignore? Maybe you saw a face you can't forget, heard a voice that lingered in your chest, or felt a touch that carried warmth even after you opened your eyes. Dreams have always fascinated humanity. Poets, philosophers, and mystics have all believed that dreams are more than random fragments of the subconscious. They are windows into the unseen, whispers of the soul, and sometimes messages from the universe itself. But here's the question: what if the person you constantly see in your dreams is not just anyone but your twin flame? This isn't just about romance or longing. It's about something far deeper. The merging of two souls that mirror each other, two halves of the same essence trying to reconnect across dimensions. Dreams in this sense become a secret meeting ground, a hidden sanctuary where your conscious mind can step aside, and your spirit can finally speak. Why dreams matter in the twin flame journey. In waking life, we are bound by logic, responsibilities, and the noise of daily existence. We question everything, filter experiences through the lens of doubt, and sometimes ignore the inner whispers that guide us. But in dreams, all of that falls away. Dreams strip us of the masks we wear. They bypass the ego, the rational mind, and the skepticism that often clouds our judgment. What's left is the raw, unfiltered truth of our inner world. That's why twin flames often show up in dreams, especially during times of awakening or separation. The dream space allows what reality cannot contain: unfinished conversations, unspoken emotions, and even future glimpses of what's meant to unfold. And perhaps you felt this, the sense that your dream wasn't just a dream, but a rendezvous, a soul encounter, a question to stir the heart. Think about this. Why would you dream of someone you haven't spoken to in years? Why would their presence feel more vivid than the people you see every day? And why does the memory of that dream refuse to fade, echoing in your chest long after you wake up? Coincidence? Or a sign? Ancient beliefs about dreams. Throughout history, dreams have been regarded as divine messages. The Egyptians saw dreams as visions from gods. The Greeks believed they carried prophecies. In many Eastern traditions, dreams are viewed as glimpses into parallel dimensions, where the soul travels freely while the body rests. When it comes to twin flames, the symbolism becomes even more profound. Your dreams may serve as a compass, pointing you toward the person who carries a fragment of your soul's essence. Sometimes these dreams arrive before you even meet in the physical world, preparing your spirit for recognition. Other times, they intensify during separation phases, as if the universe refuses to let you forget what is destined. The subconscious connection. Psychologists say dreams are the subconscious mind processing unresolved feelings. And that may be true partially. But what if your subconscious is not just a storage house of memories, but also a bridge, channel to the spiritual realm? When you dream of your twin flame, your subconscious and your soul are working together. It's not only about what you remember, it's also about what your higher self knows. That's why these dreams carry an energy that is different from ordinary dreams. They feel alive, electric, infused with meaning. A story of recognition. Let me share an example. Imagine someone named Anna. For years, Anna had recurring dreams about a man she had never met. She would see him walking beside her near a river, or sitting silently across from her in a candlelit room. Every detail was vivid. His eyes, his voice, even the way he laughed. Years later, Anna traveled abroad for work. On an ordinary afternoon, she attended a seminar and suddenly froze. There he was, the man from her dreams. The same eyes, the same presence. Her heart raced because it wasn't just attraction, it was recognition. Now you might dismiss this as coincidence. But for Anna, it was a confirmation that her dreams had been preparing her for a meeting written in her soul's contract. The invitation of dreams. So here's something to reflect on. When your twin flame shows up in your dreams, what is your soul trying to tell you? Is it calling you to pay attention? To heal a wound? To prepare for reunion? Dreams are invitations. They are not always literal, but they are always meaningful. When the dream feels like a message rather than a random story, that's when you know you've touched the edge of the twin flame connection. The emotional weight. Another reason these dreams feel unforgettable is the emotional weight they carry. Think about it. Most dreams dissolve within minutes of waking. But twin flame dreams cling to you, pulling you into reflection, sometimes even shaking your sense of reality. Why? Because they are not just emotional experiences, they are energetic exchanges. The love, the longing, the comfort, or even the conflict you feel in those dreams are part of the soul bond being activated. It's not fantasy. It's energy at work. A challenge for the skeptic. Of course, some may argue. Isn't it just because you're obsessed with this person? Isn't it just your brain replaying what you think about during the day? And yes, sometimes dreams reflect obsession or desire. But here's the difference. Dreams tied to obsession often leave you restless, confused, or empty when you wake. Dreams tied to your twin flame, however, leave you with clarity, expansion, or a deep sense of connection that words can barely describe. So let me ask you, how do your dreams leave you feeling? Drained or awakened? Setting the stage. This first chapter is not about giving you all the signs yet. Instead, it's about preparing your mind and heart to see dreams as more than random night stories. It's about opening the possibility that your soul is already communicating with you through the dream realm. Because once you begin to honor that, you'll notice the patterns, the repeating faces, the vivid sensations, the hidden symbols. And that is where the real journey begins. So tonight, when you close your eyes, pay attention. If someone appears in your dream, someone whose presence feels larger than life, someone who stirs your soul, don't dismiss it. Write it down. Reflect on it. Ask yourself what message might be hidden there. Because in the language of dreams, your twin flame might be calling. Chapter 2: Dreams as the gateway to the subconscious. When we think about dreams, most of us imagine random images stitched together by a restless brain. Scientists often describe dreams as the mind's way of organizing memory, releasing stress, or making sense of daily experiences. But when we enter the territory of twin flames, dreams are not random at all. They are gateways. They are sacred portals into the deepest layers of your subconscious and beyond, into the spiritual dimensions where logic no longer reigns. Let's pause for a moment. Why would the subconscious matter in a twin flame journey? Because the subconscious is where all that is hidden resides. Unhealed wounds, suppressed desires, forgotten memories, and even karmic imprints carried from past lives. It is the vault of your soul's experiences. And when the conscious mind falls asleep, the doors to that vault quietly open. The subconscious as the silent partner. Think of your subconscious like a silent partner in your life. By day, you operate in the conscious world. You go to work, answer messages, pay bills, worry about responsibilities. But beneath that surface, the subconscious is always watching, always recording. It notices the flicker in someone's eyes, the pang of longing in your heart, the moment you choose silence instead of speaking your truth. When night falls, your subconscious takes the stage. It speaks in symbols, in images, in emotions that don't always follow the laws of logic, but always carry meaning. And when it comes to twin flames, the subconscious often acts as a messenger. It's the place where your soul whispers to you what your waking mind is not yet ready to hear. Dreams as a spiritual classroom. Imagine dreams as a kind of classroom. By day, you learn lessons in the physical world through conversations, challenges, and events. But by night, you attend a different school. In this classroom, the rules are different. Time is fluid, distance is irrelevant, and the language is emotional truth. Your twin flame may appear here, not just as a person but as a symbol of what you need to learn. Sometimes they come to remind you of love. Other times, they trigger pain so you can see what needs to be healed. It's as if the soul uses dreams as homework assignments. Are you ready to face this fear? Are you ready to accept this love? Are you ready to release what no longer serves you? Example: the dream of abandonment. Take the story of David. For weeks, he dreamed of his twin flame walking away from him. Each time, he tried to call out but no sound came. He would wake in tears, his chest heavy with the ache of rejection. At first, David thought these were nightmares, punishing him for his attachment. But as he began to reflect, he realized something deeper. The dreams were not about his twin flame abandoning him. They were about his own fear of being abandoned, a fear rooted in childhood when his father left the family. The subconscious was staging this scene, using the image of his twin flame to bring a buried wound to the surface. Once David understood, the dream shifted. Instead of silence, he found his voice in the dreamscape. Instead of loss, he began to feel strength. The subconscious had delivered its lesson. The symbolic nature of twin flame dreams. Here's something crucial. Not every twin flame dream is literal. In fact, most of them are symbolic. You may not dream of your twin flame directly, but of images that represent them. Fire, water, bridges, butterflies, or even mirrors. Fire often symbolizes the intensity of the connection. Water can point to emotional healing. Bridges may signal reunion or transition. Butterflies reflect transformation. Mirrors are perhaps the clearest sign of the twin flame dynamic, a reflection of yourself. Your subconscious uses these symbols because sometimes your conscious mind is not yet ready to handle the truth directly. It's like giving you a puzzle to solve, preparing you step by step for a larger revelation. A question for reflection. Pause here and ask yourself, have you had a dream so strange that it haunted you all day? Did it involve a recurring symbol? A place you've never visited? Or a person who seems more real in your dreams than in waking life? These are not accidents. They are invitations to decode the subconscious language. Because when you learn to interpret these signs, you unlock a dialogue with your soul. Jung, archetypes and the twin flame mirror. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, once said that dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. He spoke of archetypes, universal patterns that show up in our dreams. The lover, the shadow, the child, the wise elder. Each archetype carries a message about our inner journey. In twin flame dreams, these archetypes often merge. Your twin flame may appear as a lover but also as a shadow, confronting you with qualities you've denied in yourself. They may appear as a child, reminding you of innocence, or as a teacher guiding you through pain. This is the mirror effect of the twin flame. They reflect back what you need to integrate. And dreams are the perfect canvas for this reflection because they bypass resistance. You can argue with someone in real life. But how do you argue with a dream? You can't. You can only feel and reflect. The thin veil between worlds. Another perspective. Dreams blur the line between dimensions. While the body sleeps, the soul is free to wander. Some traditions believe the soul travels in the astral realm, a space where connections between souls can occur more freely than in the physical world. If this is true, then your twin flame dreams may not be symbolic at all. They may be real encounters, astral meetings where you and your twin flame communicate spirit to spirit, even if your bodies are far apart. This would explain why some dreams feel so vivid, so alive, that they change the course of your day. They aren't just subconscious stories. They are memories of real soul interactions in another plane. The emotional imprint. One way to know if a dream is carrying subconscious or spiritual truth is by the emotional imprint it leaves. A normal dream fades like mist by morning, but a twin flame dream lingers. It colors your emotions, shifts your perspective, sometimes even inspires major life choices. Why? Because the subconscious has struck a chord so deep that it resonates beyond sleep. Or because your soul has truly touched another soul in the night. Either way, the message is the same. Pay attention. Integrating subconscious messages. So what can you do with these dreams? Start by keeping a dream journal. Write down every detail you remember, the colors, the symbols, the emotions. Over time, patterns will emerge. Maybe you'll notice the same place showing up, or the same conversation continuing across multiple nights. Don't dismiss them. Instead, treat them as sacred notes from your subconscious. Ask yourself, what is this dream asking me to see about myself? What unhealed wound does it reveal? What step forward does it suggest in my twin flame journey? By integrating the subconscious messages, you align more fully with your soul's guidance. Closing the gateway. In the end, dreams are not just entertainment for the sleeping mind. They are gateways. They open doors to your subconscious, to your soul, and perhaps even to other realms of existence. And if you are on the twin flame path, ignoring these dreams is like ignoring half of the story. Because while waking life tests your patience, your courage, and your choices, dreams reveal the truths you might otherwise miss. So the next time you wake up with your heart racing from a dream of your twin flame, don't shrug it off. Don't dismiss it as coincidence. Instead, ask yourself, what part of my soul just spoke to me? And what am I being invited to heal, to learn, or to embrace? Because within that question lies the key to your next step on the twin flame journey. Chapter 3, Sign 1, Repeated Dreams of the Same Person. Imagine this. You wake up on a Monday morning, and the first thing you remember is the dream you just had. It was about them. You shake it off, get ready for your day, and tell yourself it was just random. But then Tuesday night comes. You dream of them again. And then Wednesday. And then Friday. First, you laugh about it. Wow, my brain really has a strange sense of humor. But as the dreams continue, as the images get sharper and the emotions stronger, you begin to wonder, why this person? Why over and over again? This is where the first powerful sign of twin flame dreams enters. Repetition. Why repetition matters. The human mind processes thousands of faces daily. From the people we pass on the street to colleagues to strangers on social media, our subconscious has a huge library of images to choose from. Most of the time, dreams pull random faces from this archive. You might dream of a barista you saw once or a classmate from years ago. But when the same person shows up night after night, especially someone tied to deep emotions, that is no accident. Repetition is the universe's way of highlighting importance. It's as if your soul is placing a neon sign over this person, urging you to pay attention. For twin flames, this repetition often starts at crucial turning points, just before meeting in the physical world, or during separation phases when lessons must be learned. The subconscious loop. Psychologists explain repeated dreams as subconscious loops. If an unresolved issue lingers in your mind, your brain will replay scenarios in an attempt to resolve it. That's true. But what if the unresolved issue isn't just a memory? What if it's a soul contract? When your twin flame appears again and again in dreams, it could be your subconscious looping through unfinished business. But on the spiritual level, it's also a reminder that this connection is not temporary. It's eternal. A story of persistence. Consider Sarah. She hadn't seen her college friend Michael in years. They weren't romantically involved, just close companions who lost touch. Then one summer, Sarah began dreaming of Michael almost every week. In these dreams, he was always reaching out, always trying to say something she couldn't quite hear. Confused, Sarah finally looked him up online. She discovered Michael had been going through a painful divorce and had started posting about spiritual awakening. The timing was uncanny, as if her dreams had been signaling his transformation long before she knew consciously. The repetition wasn't random. It was her subconscious, or perhaps her soul, insisting that Michael's presence still mattered to her journey. The twin flame trigger. Here's the deeper layer. Repeated dreams often trigger something inside you. They stir old feelings, awaken forgotten memories, or ignite longings you thought you buried. Ask yourself, how do I feel when I wake from these repeated dreams? Do I feel peace, as if my soul just reconnected with home? Or do I feel restless, as if I'm being reminded of work I've avoided? The answer matters because twin flame dreams are not meant to entertain. They're meant to awaken. Repetition ensures you cannot escape the lesson. Signs it's more than obsession. But let's be honest. Sometimes repeated dreams can stem from obsession. If you constantly think of someone before bed, of course they might show up in your dreams. So how do you know when it's different? Here are 3 distinctions. Spontaneity. Twin flame dreams often happen when you least expect them, not when you've been obsessing. You may have gone days without thinking of this person, yet they appear again, uninvited. Intensity. The emotions feel alive, almost physical. You might wake with tears, joy, or a pounding heart. Progression. The dreams evolve over time, almost like chapters in a story, rather than static repeats. This suggests the dream is guiding you, not just replaying your desires. The emotional echo. Another striking feature of repeated twin flame dreams is the echo effect. You wake up, go about your day, but the emotions from the dream trail behind you. Maybe you feel unexpectedly loved, or suddenly vulnerable, or inexplicably nostalgic. This echo can last hours, even days. Why? Because repetition engraves the emotional imprint deeper into your subconscious. It's like waves carving into stone. Each dream leaves another layer of meaning. Questions to ask yourself. If you're experiencing repeated dreams of someone, Pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why this person and not another? What is the common theme of the dreams? Reunion, conflict, silence, or comfort? Do the dreams leave me drained? Or do they awaken me to something larger? By asking these questions, you begin to decode whether the repetition is psychological or spiritual. When the universe refuses silence, sometimes repeated dreams feel like nagging. You want to move on, but the person keeps appearing night after night. You may even get frustrated. Why can't I just stop dreaming of them? This is where the twin flame journey challenges us most. The universe often refuses to let you silence what is meant to be faced. If there is unhealed pain, it will surface again. If there is unfinished love, it will knock on your subconscious door until you answer. Ignoring repeated dreams is like ignoring a ringing phone. The call will not stop until you pick up. An example of healing through repetition. Let's return to David from the last chapter. After his dreams of abandonment shifted, he began to dream of the same park bench every week. His twin flame would be there, sometimes smiling, sometimes crying. At first he thought the repetition was cruel, a reminder of separation. But gradually he realized the bench symbolized a place in his heart, a waiting space. His subconscious kept replaying it because he had not yet accepted patience as part of the journey. Once he embraced the lesson of waiting with love instead of desperation, the dreams stopped. The repetition had done its job. The hidden gift of repetition. So what is the gift of repeated dreams? It's clarity. The more a dream returns, the more undeniable it becomes. You can ignore one dream. You can dismiss 2. But 10? 20? At some point you must confront the truth. And that truth is, not always this person must be mine. Often the truth is, this person reflects a part of myself I must acknowledge. Repetition ensures you can no longer hide. Closing thought for Chapter 3. So if you find yourself haunted by the same face night after night, don't roll your eyes or curse your subconscious. Instead, lean in. Ask, what am I being asked to see? What lesson am I being pushed to learn? Because in the twin flame journey, repetition is never meaningless. It is the universe's way of saying, this connection matters. Don't turn away. Chapter 4. Sign to vivid dreams that feel real. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You are in the middle of a dream, but it doesn't feel like a dream. The colors are sharp. The sound of footsteps echoes as if you're standing in a hallway. You feel the warmth of someone's hand, the softness of their voice, the smell of their hair. When you wake up, you're stunned. Your heart races. Your palms sweat. And the strangest part? You remember every detail. Not for minutes, but for days, sometimes weeks. This is not just a random dream. This is a vivid twin flame dream. The difference between vivid and ordinary dreams. Most dreams dissolve the moment we open our eyes. They leave behind faint fragments, half-remembered scenes, or feelings we can't quite name. But vivid dreams are different. They feel more like memories than fantasies. The details are crystal clear. The emotions are intense and unforgettable. The sensation lingers, sometimes even physically, like waking up with tears on your cheeks or the sensation of touch on your skin. When your twin flame shows up in this way, it's as though the dream world briefly becomes real. Why are twin flame dreams so vivid? There are a few reasons. Heightened emotional energy. Twin flame connections are charged with energy that surpasses ordinary relationships. When that energy enters your dream space, it amplifies everything. Soul recognition. The vividness comes from the soul recognizing the bond. Your mind may not understand, but your spirit knows this connection is real, and so the dream imprints itself deeply. Possible astral encounters. Some traditions believe vivid dreams occur when souls meet in the astral plane, a dimension where time and space bend. These encounters feel real because on some level they are real. A story of the unforgettable dream. Take Emily, for example. One night, she dreamed she was walking through a forest. She could feel the crunch of leaves beneath her feet, smell the pine in the air, and sense a presence beside her. She turned and saw a man whose face she had never seen before. Yet she knew him. They walked silently for what felt like hours. At one point he held her hand, and she felt the pulse of his heartbeat. When she woke, her chest was pounding, and her palm still tingled as if his touch had crossed the boundary between worlds. Weeks later, she met a new colleague at work. The shock was overwhelming. He was the man from her dream, down to the curve of his smile. Their connection was instant, undeniable. This is the power of vivid twin flame dreams. They prepare you, guide you, sometimes even introduce you to someone your soul already knows. The emotional intensity. One of the hallmarks of vivid dreams is the emotional aftershock. It's not just that you see your twin flame. You feel them. You wake up crying not knowing why. You wake up smiling with your heart overflowing. You wake up shaken as if you've lived another life. While you slept, these emotions don't fade quickly. They cling to you, shaping your mood, your choices, sometimes even your beliefs. And here's the truth. The vividness is a form of validation. It's the universe ensuring you cannot dismiss the dream as meaningless. Question for you. So let me ask, have you ever had a dream so real that you checked your phone to see if the person had actually messaged you? Have you ever felt their kiss, their hug, their voice, and woken up believing for a split second that it really happened? So that is not coincidence. That is your soul, reminding you of the depth of this bond. Psychology meets spirituality. From a psychological standpoint, vivid dreams occur during REM sleep, when brain activity is closest to waking consciousness. Strong emotions and sensory details get encoded in memory, making the dream feel real. But the spiritual perspective goes further. It says vividness is not just brain chemistry, it's energy. It's the meeting of two souls vibrating at the same frequency. That's why these dreams often come with synchronicities. Seeing the same numbers, hearing songs that echo the dream, or bumping into your twin flame unexpectedly after such a dream. Science explains the how. Spirituality explains the why. The symbol of realness. Another key aspect. Vivid twin flame dreams often blur the line between dream and reality. You might dream of having a conversation with them, and then the next day they bring up the exact same topic in real life. You might dream of them wearing a blue jacket, and see them in that jacket a week later. This crossover is a sign that your dream wasn't just imagination. It was a thread connecting two realities. The risk of confusion. But here's a warning. Vividness can also confuse you. Sometimes people mistake vivid dreams for literal prophecy. They assume, if I dreamed of us together so clearly, it must mean we'll reunite tomorrow. That's not always true. The dream might be symbolic, showing you the potential, not the guarantee. It might be urging you to heal, not to chase. The key is discernment. Ask yourself, what lesson did this vivid dream leave me with? Not just what outcome do I desire from it. A deeper example, the healing dream. Consider Marcus. He and his twin flame were in separation. Every night, he dreamed of arguments, vivid, heated, painful. At first he dreaded sleep. But as he reflected, he realized the dreams weren't about her rejecting him. They were about his unhealed anger. The vividness forced him to confront emotions he had buried. It wasn't punishment, it was healing. Once he processed those feelings in waking life, the dreams softened. They shifted from conflict to peace. The vividness was his soul's way of saying, pay attention. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. The gift of vivid dreams. So what is the gift of these dreams? Clarity. They cut through denial. They demand you face the truth of your connection. If you feel love, it shows you the purity of that love. If you feel fear, it reveals where healing is needed. If you feel longing, it reminds you that the bond transcends time and space. The vividness ensures you remember. Because forgetting would mean losing the message. Closing thought for Chapter 4. So, the next time you wake up breathless, your heart pounding from a dream that felt more real than waking life, don't dismiss it. Don't say, it was just a dream. Instead, honor it. Write it down. Reflect on it. Ask what truth it revealed about your journey. Because when a dream feels more real than reality, it may be the universe whispering, this connection is more real than anything your eyes can see. Chapter 5. Sign 3. Symbolic Dreams and Hidden Metaphors. Not all twin flame dreams are straightforward. Sometimes you see your counterpart's face clearly, hear their voice, feel their touch. But other times they show up in disguise, not as themselves but as symbols, objects, animals, or strange events. These symbolic dreams can be confusing, even frustrating. Yet, they are often the most profound, because they reveal truths that the conscious mind is not yet ready to hear directly. The soul speaks in metaphors, and when it comes to twin flames, your dreams may carry messages hidden beneath layers of imagery, waiting for you to decode them. Why symbols? Why would your subconscious, or the universe, choose symbols instead of direct appearances? The answer lies in protection. The conscious mind is stubborn. If you saw your twin flame every night in dreams, you might dismiss it as obsession, or cling to it in unhealthy ways. But when the message is delivered symbolically, it slips past resistance. It invites reflection rather than fixation. Symbols slow you down. They make you ask questions, look deeper, and grow in awareness. Common twin flame symbols. Across thousands of stories from people on this path, certain images appear again and again. Let's explore some of the most common. Mirrors, the most powerful twin flame symbol. They reflect not only your counterpart but also yourself, your wounds, your growth, your truth. To dream of a mirror breaking might suggest the need to face illusions, to see yourself in a mirror but with their face hints at the merging of identities. Fire twin flames are literally named after fire. Dreaming of flames, candles, or burning rooms can represent passion, transformation, or the intensity of purification. Water often symbolizes emotions. Calm seas may represent harmony, while storms may reveal inner turmoil. Dreaming of crossing water can mean you're moving toward emotional healing. Bridges or doorways, passage symbols. They represent transition points in the journey, separation, reunion, or a leap of faith. Animals, a lion might symbolize courage, a dove peace, a wolf loyalty. Sometimes the animal carries traits you or your twin flame need to embody. Numbers, repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 717 may appear in dreams. They're not random. They're spiritual codes associated with alignment and union. Story. The Garden of Symbols. Consider Layla. For months she dreamed of walking through a garden. Each time she saw different flowers. Roses, lilies, orchids. At first she thought it was just pretty scenery, but when she researched flower symbolism she realized the roses stood for passion, the lilies for purity, and the orchids for resilience. It dawned on her. The garden wasn't random. It was her subconscious mapping out the stages of her relationship with her twin flame, from fiery passion, to the need for purity, to the call for resilience in times of separation. Her dreams didn't give her answers directly. They gave her a riddle, and in solving it, she discovered wisdom she wouldn't have accepted otherwise. The language of the soul. Symbols are the soul's poetry. They bypass the limits of words and logic. That's why symbolic twin flame dreams often feel like puzzles or riddles, not to confuse you, but to expand your consciousness. Think of it like this. A direct dream says, you need healing. A symbolic dream shows you a wounded bird with a broken wing, and your instinct to help it teaches you about your own healing journey. Which one leaves a deeper impact? The symbol. Questions to decode symbols. When you wake from a symbolic dream, here are questions you can ask. What emotion did the symbol stir in me? Where have I seen this symbol in waking life recently? What qualities does this symbol carry in culture, myth, or personal memory? How does this symbol connect to my twin flame journey? By asking these, you turn your dream into dialogue. Archetypes and twin flames. Carl Jung spoke of archetypes, universal symbols that appear in the collective unconscious. In twin flame dreams, archetypes show up often. The child representing innocence or wounds from the past. The shadow, your unacknowledged fears or desires. The lover, the pure union of souls. The guide, sometimes your twin flame appears as a teacher figure, leading you. When these archetypes appear, they aren't random. They're guiding you to integrate missing parts of yourself, which is essential for union. Story, the broken bridge. Another example. Carlos dreamed repeatedly of a broken bridge. Each time, he stood on one side, his twin flame on the other. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't cross. First, it frustrated him. He thought it meant he would never reunite. But when he meditated on the symbol, he realized the bridge represented trust. His lack of trust was the gap between them. When he began working on trust issues in his waking life, the dream changed. The bridge was rebuilt, piece by piece, and one night he finally crossed. The symbol had mirrored his inner work. The risk of overinterpretation. Of course, there's a danger here. Some people obsess over symbols, dissecting every detail to the point of paranoia. They turn a dream about a dog into 20 different predictions. The key is balance. Symbols are guides, not guarantees. They are meant to inspire growth, not control your destiny. Ask yourself, does this interpretation bring me peace and clarity? Or does it fuel fear and confusion? If it's the latter, you may be forcing meaning where none exists. The gift of symbolic dreams. So, what is the gift of symbolic dreams? They expand your perspective. They teach you to think in layers, to see beyond appearances, to recognize the hidden threads that weave your journey together. And most importantly, they remind you that the twin flame path is not just about another person. It's about your evolution, your healing, your awakening. The symbols are maps, pointing you inward as much as outward. Closing thought for Chapter 5. The next time you wake from a dream filled with strange symbols, a mirror that shatters, a bird that soars, a bridge that waits, don't dismiss it as nonsense. Don't get lost in obsession either. Instead, sit with it, feel it, ask it what truth it wants to reveal. Because in the hidden language of symbols, your soul may be whispering the very key you need for your next step on the twin flame journey. Chapter 6, Sign 4, Prophetic or Predictive Dreams. There are dreams that entertain, dreams that confuse, and dreams that heal. But then there are dreams that foretell. Dreams that show you something before it happens. Dreams that make you pause days later and whisper, "Wait, I saw this before." For those on the twin flame journey, prophetic dreams are one of the most mysterious and awe-inspiring signs. They blur the boundary between present and future, reminding you that time is not as rigid as it seems, and that your soul already knows more than your conscious mind can grasp. What makes a dream prophetic? Not every vivid dream is prophetic. So how do you know the difference? Prophetic dreams carry certain qualities. Clarity of detail, they are precise. You might recall a conversation word for word, the color of someone's shirt, or the exact setting. Future validation later, events unfold in waking life exactly as you dreamed, sometimes down to uncanny details. Energetic charge. When you wake up, the dream feels important, almost urgent, as if stamped into your memory by something beyond yourself. These dreams don't feel like imagination. They feel like previews. Why do twin flame prophetic dreams happen? There are several explanations blending psychology with spirituality. The subconscious connection. Your subconscious picks up subtle cues in waking life that your conscious mind ignores. It assembles them into a dream that predicts the outcome. Soul contract awareness. On the spiritual side, prophetic dreams may arise because your soul is already aware of the trajectory of your connection. The dream is not predicting. It's remembering what is destined. Astral encounters. Some believe prophetic dreams happen during astral travel, where the soul glimpses future timelines or parallel realities. In the context of twin flames, these dreams often serve as reassurance or preparation. They remind you that reunion, growth, or healing is not random. It's part of a larger design. Story. The coffee shop dream. Let's take an example. Maya was in separation from her twin flame. One night, she dreamed she walked into a coffee shop, saw him sitting by the window, and heard him say, "I didn't forget." The dream was so real she woke up with her heart pounding. 2 weeks later, she stopped by a new cafe near her office. She froze. There he was by the window. And when she finally gathered the courage to approach, the first words out of his mouth were, "I didn't forget." Coincidence? Perhaps. But for Maya, the dream was a prophecy. A moment where her soul had glimpsed the script before it unfolded. The role of prophetic dreams in the journey. So why do these dreams matter in twin flame experiences? Because they anchor hope. They appear most often in moments of doubt, when one feels lost in separation, or when the path ahead seems uncertain. A prophetic dream acts like a lighthouse in the fog. It doesn't erase the struggle, but it gives direction. It whispers, "Keep going. What you seek is real. What you long for is coming." The double-edged sword. But here's the caution. Prophetic dreams can also become a trap. Some people cling to them obsessively waiting for every detail to come true. They may even put their lives on hold, saying, "I can't move forward because my dream said reunion is coming." This is dangerous. The purpose of prophecy is guidance, not paralysis. It is meant to strengthen your faith, not to replace your free will. Remember, even prophetic dreams reflect potential timelines. They show what can unfold if you align with the lesson. If you resist growth, the prophecy may remain unfulfilled. A story of misinterpretation. Consider Daniel. He dreamed of marrying his twin flame. He saw the venue, the vows, even the guests. Convinced it was destiny, he clung to this vision for years. But in reality, they never reunited romantically. Years later, he realized the dream wasn't about literal marriage. It symbolized union within, the balancing of his divine masculine and feminine energies. The prophecy had come true, but in a spiritual sense rather than a physical one. This is why discernment is vital. Prophetic dreams are real, but their meaning may not always be literal. How to recognize authentic prophetic dreams. Here are a few questions to help you distinguish true prophecy from ordinary imagination. Did the dream feel alive, like a memory rather than a fantasy? Did it carry a sense of peace or certainty, rather than desperation or obsession? Did events later align in ways that left no room for coincidence? Did the dream inspire growth, healing, or clarity, rather than attachment? If the answer is yes, you may have experienced a genuine prophetic dream. Prophecy and synchronicity. Another fascinating aspect. Prophetic dreams often link with synchronicities. You might dream of a number and then see it everywhere. You might dream of a song and then hear it on the radio the next day. These synchronicities act like echoes, affirming that the dream was not random. They are the universe's way of saying, yes, pay attention. Story: The Red Scarf. Sophia once dreamed of meeting her twin flame in a park, where he handed her a red scarf. The dream was so vivid she wrote it down. Months later, during winter, she ran into him unexpectedly, and he was wearing a red scarf. He didn't hand it to her, but the symbolism was clear. The dream had hinted at a moment of reconnection, which reality later echoed. The prophecy wasn't exact in detail, but precise in essence. The purpose of prophetic dreams. So what is the true gift of these dreams? It is not to predict dates, not to control outcomes, not to guarantee timelines. The purpose is deeper. To reassure you when doubt clouds your heart. To guide you toward healing that aligns with the future. To remind you that the connection transcends linear time. Prophecy in the twin flame journey is less about knowing the future and more about trusting the path. Question for reflection. Have you had a dream that came true in detail? Or perhaps one that symbolically unfolded later? How did it change your belief about this journey? Did it strengthen your trust? Or trap you in waiting? Reflect on this honestly, because the way you answer will reveal whether prophecy is empowering you or enslaving you. Closing thought for Chapter 6. So if you've ever woken from a dream that felt like a preview of tomorrow, honor it. Write it down. Reflect on it. But don't chain yourself to it. Let it be a compass, not a cage. Because prophetic dreams are not meant to rob you of freedom. They are meant to remind you that the story of twin flames is bigger than the limits of time, and that somewhere your soul already knows the ending. Chapter 7, Sign 5, Soul-to-Soul Conversations in Dreams. There is something hauntingly beautiful about dreaming of your twin flame. Sometimes it's the vividness, sometimes it's the symbols, and sometimes it's the repetition. But one of the most profound experiences is when you don't just see them, you talk to them. These are not ordinary dream conversations, filled with random chatter. They feel different. They feel sacred. As if words are not merely words but energy. As if every sentence carries layers of meaning. As if the soul is speaking, not the mind. These are soul-to-soul conversations in dreams, one of the clearest signs that your twin flame connection transcends the limits of ordinary reality. What makes these conversations unique? You've had dream conversations before. Maybe you argued with a stranger, laughed with a friend, or exchanged nonsense words that didn't make sense when you woke up. Those are typical dream dialogues, often chaotic or fragmented. But twin flame conversations are different. They carry three distinctive qualities: clarity. You remember the words as if they were carved into your memory. Sometimes entire sentences echo in your head long after waking. Depth? The topics go beyond the mundane. Instead of what's for dinner, you might discuss forgiveness, love, destiny, or fears. Energy transfer. These conversations leave an energetic imprint. You wake up feeling lighter, healed, or even unsettled, as if real emotional work has taken place. Why do they happen in dreams? In waking life, twin flames often face blocks. Ego, pride, distance, fear, all these create walls between them. But in dreams, those walls dissolve. The dream state strips away defense mechanisms. There's no fear of rejection, no need for performance, no social mask. What remains is the raw truth of the soul. That's why conversations here often feel more authentic than those in waking life. Story. The apology that never happened. Take Lily's experience. She was in separation from her twin flame after a painful argument. In waking life, he refused to apologize, and she carried the wound heavily. But one night, she dreamed he came to her, sat across a wooden table, and said with tears in his eyes, "I'm sorry. I was scared. I pushed you away because I didn't know how to love." The words pierced her heart. She woke up in tears, but also with a sense of relief she hadn't felt in months. Did he consciously say those words? No. But at the soul level, the message had been delivered. The dream gave her the closure her waking mind couldn't find. Soul conversations as healing. That's one of the greatest gifts of these dreams. Healing. Sometimes the soul uses the dream state to deliver messages that the ego blocks in waking life. It might be an apology, a declaration of love, or encouragement to keep going. And whether or not those words are ever spoken in the physical world, the healing still takes place energetically. This is why so many people wake from these dreams feeling lighter, as if a burden has lifted. A different kind of dialogue. Not all soul-to-soul conversations are soothing. Sometimes they're intense, even confrontational. Imagine dreaming of your twin flame accusing you. Why are you hiding? Why are you afraid? You wake up shaken, even angry. But when you reflect, you realize they voiced the very doubts you've been bearing. This too is healing. Sometimes the soul must challenge you, push you, even confront you with truths you'd rather avoid. These conversations are not punishments, they are catalysts for growth. The unspoken language. Another fascinating aspect is that these conversations don't always happen in words. Sometimes it feels like telepathy. You don't hear sentences, but you know what they're saying. A glance carries paragraphs. A smile feels like a poem. This is the language of the soul. Energy-to-energy communication, beyond words. And when you wake, you may not recall exact phrases, but you remember the feeling with crystal clarity. That feeling is the message. A story of encouragement. Consider James. He struggled with doubt, questioning whether the twin flame journey was real. One night, he dreamed of his counterpart sitting beside him on a cliff overlooking the sea. She didn't speak a word. She just looked at him with eyes that radiated love. In that silence, he heard everything. Trust. You're not imagining this. Keep going. When he woke, he felt stronger than ever. No words were exchanged, yet the conversation was unmistakable. Are these dreams real? Encounters? Skeptics might argue these conversations are just your subconscious playing both roles. You want closure, so your mind invents it. You want encouragement, so your brain supplies it. And sometimes that may be true. But what about when your twin flame later repeats the same words in real life? What about when they confirm feelings you already heard in a dream? Many on this journey have experienced this synchronicity. It suggests that these dreams are not mere imagination. They may be real soul encounters, happening on the astral plane where communication is unfiltered and instantaneous. How to recognize a true soul conversation. If you're unsure whether your dream was a true soul-to-soul dialogue or just your mind talking to itself, ask these questions. Did the message surprise you? If you heard something you weren't expecting, it may have come from a higher source rather than your own wishful thinking. Did the energy linger? True soul conversations leave an emotional or energetic afterglow that lasts beyond waking. Did synchronicities follow? If events later validate the message, it's a strong sign of authenticity. The purpose of these conversations. Why do they happen? Because the soul refuses silence. When words cannot be spoken in waking life, the soul finds another channel. They may come to encourage you when you're ready to give up. They may come to apologize or explain what the ego won't admit. They may come to challenge you to step into your power. Above all, they remind you the connection is alive. Even if silence reigns in the physical, the soul bond is still speaking. Question for you. Have you ever dreamed of your twin flame saying something so clear, so profound that it felt like a real conversation? Did it change how you felt about them? Did it heal a wound, ignite courage, or push you into growth? Reflect on that, because those dreams are not random. They are the soul's way of keeping the dialogue alive. Closing thought for Chapter 7. So if you wake up one morning with the words of your twin flame echoing in your chest, don't dismiss it. Don't brush it off as imagination. Write it down. Reflect on it. Honor it as a message, whether from your subconscious or your soul connection. Because when twin flames speak in dreams, they're not just talking. They're healing, guiding, and reminding you of the truth. Even in silence, the souls are always in conversation. Chapter 8. Are these dreams real or just projection? By now you've learned that twin flame dreams can be repetitive, vivid, symbolic, even prophetic, and that sometimes you share profound conversations with your counterpart in the dreamscape. But a pressing question always lingers, especially for those who wrestle with doubt. Are these dreams real? Or are they just my mind projecting what I want to see? This question is not just intellectual. It's emotional. Because if these dreams are real, they are proof of the connection, signs of destiny, whispers from the soul. But if they're only projections, then are we deceiving ourselves? Are we confusing obsession with guidance? Let's dive deep into this question layer by layer. The skeptic's perspective. From a psychological viewpoint, dreams are often seen as the brain's way of processing daily life. Sigmund Freud suggested dreams reflect hidden desires. Carl Jung expanded the idea, saying dreams tap into archetypes of the collective unconscious. In simpler terms, your dreams may just be your mind replaying thoughts, fears, and longings. If you miss your twin flame, if you think about them all the time, then of course they might appear in your dreams. It could be self-created. Nothing mystical about it. This is the skeptic's perspective, and it's worth acknowledging, because self-deception is a real risk. The believer's perspective. On the other hand, countless people report twin flame dreams that go beyond projection. They dream of conversations that later happen in waking life. They see symbols that show up as synchronicities the next day. They feel touches, emotions, even physical sensations too strong to dismiss as imagination. For these people, the dreamscape is more than projection. It's a meeting ground, a space where souls connect beyond the restrictions of physical life. The believer's perspective says, these dreams are real, not illusions, but soul experiences remembered through the language of sleep. The middle ground. So which is it? Pure psychology or pure spirituality? The answer may lie in the middle. Sometimes it's projection, sometimes it's soul connection, and often it's both. Your subconscious and your soul may collaborate. The subconscious provides the images and symbols, while the soul infuses them with energy and truth. That's why twin flame dreams feel unlike any other. They carry both personal memory and universal depth. Story: the letter in the dream. Consider Elena. She dreamed of her twin flame handing her a letter. In the dream, the letter said, "I wish you peace." She woke up crying. Days later, she received an actual email from him. Not a letter, but the message ended with the exact words, "Wishing you peace." Was this projection? No. Elena had never heard him use that phrase before. The dream prepared her for the message. The subconscious created the symbol of the letter, but the soul delivered the energy of the words. Signs it might be projection. To avoid confusion, let's explore signs that your dream might be more projection than soul encounter. Overthinking before sleep. If you fall asleep replaying conversations, chances are your brain will produce dreams reflecting those thoughts. Unrealistic fantasies. Dreams where everything is perfect, with no challenge, may reflect desire rather than truth. Emotional hangover of lack. If you wake feeling empty, Desperate or fixated, the dream may have been your longing, not a soul message. Signs it might be real connection. On the flip side, here are signs that your dream may indeed be a soul-to-soul experience. Surprise content. The dream delivers something you weren't expecting, such as an apology or symbol you hadn't considered. Lasting impact. The dream shifts your perspective, heals your emotions, or inspires growth. External validation, synchronicities, or real-life events later confirm what you saw in the dream. The role of projection and healing. Here's an important truth. Even if some dreams are projections, that doesn't make them meaningless. Projection can reveal your hidden wounds. If you dream of being abandoned, maybe you need to face abandonment fears. If you dream of reunion, maybe you need to integrate the hope of love within yourself. In other words, even projections serve a purpose. They mirror what you need to heal. Question for reflection. So, ask yourself, what did my dream leave me with? Did it trap me in obsession, or did it lead me to insight? Did it drain me, or did it nourish me? That is the real measure of whether it was just projection or a genuine soul message. The mystery of dual truths. Perhaps the deeper lesson is this. The twin flame journey itself is both psychological and spiritual. It is both about your subconscious wounds and your soul's destiny. So why wouldn't dreams also carry dual truths? A dream can be a projection and a soul connection. You dream of your twin flame rejecting you because you fear abandonment, but in the dream their eyes also communicate. Heal this so we can meet fully. Two truths, one experience. Story: the mirror dream. Alex dreamed of looking in a mirror. Instead of his own reflection, he saw his twin flame. He woke confused. Was this projection, his longing to see her? Or was it real, her soul showing up? The answer: both. The projection revealed his desire to merge, while the soul reminded him of the mirror effect of twin flames. The dream held two truths at once. Why the question matters. Why spend so much time asking, is it real or projection? Because doubt is part of the path. The mind craves certainty, but the soul thrives in mystery. Sometimes the very act of questioning pushes you deeper into awareness. In asking, you learn discernment. In doubting, you discover faith. So don't see the question as a problem. See it as an invitation to grow. Closing thought for Chapter 8. So are twin flame dreams real encounters, or are they projections of desire? The answer is, they can be either or both. The point is not to label them but to learn from them. Because whether your dream was your subconscious revealing wounds or your soul meeting your counterpart in another realm, the effect is the same. You wake changed. You wake invited to heal, to trust, to grow. And that is the real gift. Chapter 9. The deeper meaning: dreams beyond romance and into soul mission. When most people first hear about twin flame dreams, they think of romance. They imagine dreams filled with kisses, reunions, candlelit moments, or the comfort of being held by the one they love. And yes, sometimes twin flame dreams carry that sweetness. But if you stop there, you miss their true depth. Because at their core, twin flame dreams are not simply about romantic love. They are about something far bigger, your soul mission. Beyond the illusion of fantasy, the ego loves to romanticize. It clings to dreams as proof that union is coming soon. But the soul whispers a different message. This is about your growth, your healing, and your purpose. That's why many twin flame dreams feel symbolic, challenging, or even unsettling. They're not always comfort blankets. They're blueprints. They're maps pointing you toward who you're meant to become, not just who you're meant to be with. Dreams as a mirror of purpose. Think of it this way: your twin flame is your mirror. In waking life, they reflect your wounds, strengths, and growth edges. In dreams, the mirror goes deeper. It reflects your soul's mission. You may dream of standing on a stage, speaking to a crowd, while your twin flame silently watches. That dream is not just about them. It's about you stepping into your voice, your mission, your truth. Or you may dream of both of you helping strangers in need. That's not fantasy. It's a hint that your union is not just for love, but for service. Story: the orphanage dream. Consider Maria. During separation, she dreamed she and her twin flame were running an orphanage together. They were feeding children, giving them clothes, and comforting them. She woke up with tears, convinced the dream was impossible. They barely spoke in real life. Years later, after much inner work, Maria became involved in humanitarian projects. Her twin flame didn't literally join her, but she realized the dream had revealed her soul mission: nurturing children and creating safe spaces. The dream wasn't about being with him. It was about becoming who she was meant to be. Soul mission versus romantic desire. This is where many struggle. They want the dream to confirm romantic reunion, but more often than not, the dream is nudging them toward self-realization. The union of twin flames is not just personal happiness, it's collective healing. Your growth ripples outward, touching others. That's why the dreamscape often shows you serving, teaching, healing, or creating. It's preparing you to align with your soul mission. Why the soul uses dreams for mission? Why does the soul reveal mission through dreams? Because in waking life, we resist. The ego clings to comfort zones. But in dreams, resistance drops. Your higher self can slip in messages like, "You are meant to write. You are meant to lead. You are meant to heal." And often your twin flame appears in these dreams as a catalyst, pushing you into your calling. Not because they must do it with you, but because the bond awakens your potential. A question for you. Think back. Have you ever had a twin flame dream that didn't focus on romance, but on something larger? Maybe you were building, teaching, creating, or serving. Did you dismiss it because it wasn't about union? What if that dream was the real key? What if the universe was saying, "This is what your love is meant to ignite, a mission bigger than yourselves"? The collective dimension. Another layer to consider. Twin flame dreams often connect to collective energy. You may dream of disasters, wars, or groups of people seeking help. These aren't random nightmares. They may be your soul's way of showing you how your mission contributes to humanity's healing. Some people report dreaming of global crises alongside their twin flame, as if the dream is saying, "Your love is not just personal, it's part of the world's evolution." This aligns with the spiritual teaching that twin flame unions are not for self-indulgence, but for raising collective consciousness. Story: The Healing Hands. Take David. He dreamed repeatedly that his twin flame placed her hands on the sick, and they were healed instantly. He would stand beside her, offering support. At first he thought it was literal, maybe she was meant to become a healer. But as time passed, David realized the dream was about both of them stepping into healing roles. She as an energy worker, he as a counselor. Together, their mission was to help people heal emotionally and spiritually. The dream had painted the larger picture long before either of them consciously understood it. The risk of missing the message. The danger is when you interpret every twin flame dream through the lens of romance. You might miss the deeper meaning entirely. For example, you dream of traveling with your twin flame. The ego says, "It means we'll go on a trip together." But the soul says, "It means your mission involves expanding beyond comfort zones, perhaps even across cultures." Or you dream of arguing with your twin flame about money. The ego panics. But the soul says, "This is about your relationship with abundance, not theirs." When you cling to romance, you reduce the dream to personal longing. When you open to mission, you expand the dream to soul purpose. Integrating dream messages into mission. So how do you integrate these deeper messages? Here are a few steps. Journal every dream, even the ones that don't feel romantic. Write down the setting, the symbols, the actions. Look for larger themes. Are you teaching, serving, healing, building? These are hints toward mission. Detach from ego desire. Ask, if this dream wasn't about romance, what might it mean for my growth or purpose? Take small steps. If your dream hints at healing, study healing practices. If it shows you leading, practice leadership in small ways. The dream is a seed. Your job is to nurture it in waking life. A shift in perspective. When you begin to see twin flame dreams as guides to mission, not just romance, everything shifts. The journey stops being about when will union happen and becomes how can I live my soul's truth right now. And ironically, this shift often brings you closer to union, because union is not the goal, alignment is. And when you align with mission, the path to union unfolds naturally. Closing thought for Chapter 9. So the next time you dream of your twin flame, don't just ask, "When will we be together?" Ask instead, What is this dream calling me to become? Because twin flame dreams are not only love stories played out at night. They are roadmaps to your highest self, invitations into your soul mission, and reminders that your connection is not only for you but for the world. Chapter 10. Dreams as Invitations to Awakening. We've traveled through many layers of the dream world. Repetition, vividness, symbols, prophecy, soul to soul, conversations, and even the deeper call toward mission. But now we arrive at the heart of it all. What do these dreams ultimately mean? They are not just fleeting night visions. They are invitations. Invitations to awaken, to heal, to grow, and to embrace the journey of your soul. The bigger picture. Think back to the first dream of your twin flame you can remember. Did it surprise you? Did it shake you? Did it leave you with emotions you couldn't explain? That dream was not random. It was the beginning of an unfolding dialogue between your soul and the universe. Each dream since then has been part of a larger story. One that is not only about romance but about awakening. When your twin flame appears in your dream, it is your soul saying, "Pay attention. There is more here." Then meets the eye. Awakening through dreams. Dreams are a sacred classroom. They teach you through imagery, emotion, and sometimes shock. Repetitive dreams awaken you to patterns you can't ignore. Vivid dreams awaken you to the reality of the soul connection. Symbolic dreams awaken you to hidden lessons. Prophetic dreams awaken you to trust and divine timing. Soul conversations awaken you to healing and truth. The deeper mission awakens you to purpose beyond romance. Together, these dreams weave a tapestry that calls you out of sleep. Not just physical sleep, but spiritual sleep. The question of reality. By now you may still ask, but are these dreams real? The answer: they are real in the ways that matter. Whether they are astral encounters, subconscious revelations, or both, they impact you. They shape your emotions, they guide your choices, they nudge you toward growth. That impact itself is real. In a way, it doesn't matter whether your twin flame actually spoke to you in the dream. What matters is that the dream transformed you, expanded you, woke you up. That is the essence of reality. A story of transformation. Let's take a final story. Michael spent months in despair after his twin flame blocked him. He felt abandoned, hopeless, convinced the journey was over. But one night he dreamed of standing on a mountain. His twin flame appeared, but instead of running toward her, he heard her say, "Turn around." When he did, he saw a vast valley filled with people waiting. He woke confused. Why turn around? Over time, he realized the dream was calling him to shift focus. Instead of clinging to reunion, he began mentoring others, guiding them through healing. In helping them, he found his own strength again. The dream was never about chasing her. It was about awakening him. Dreams as mirrors of your soul. Every twin flame dream is a mirror. Sometimes it mirrors your longing. Sometimes your fear. Sometimes your potential. The dream world strips away illusions and lays bare the truth of your soul. And if you are willing to listen, to feel, to reflect, those dreams can guide you more powerfully than any book, guru, or external sign. The final invitation. So here is the final message. Your dreams are not accidents. They are invitations. Invitations to heal what hurts, to love what is within you, to trust what is unfolding, and to step into your soul mission. Do not cling to them as promises of the future. Do not dismiss them as mere fantasy. Instead, honor them as sacred guides. Roadmaps of awakening. When your twin flame appears in your dreams, they are not only showing you themselves. They are showing you you. A question for you. Tonight when you close your eyes, what dream will come? Will you see their face again? Will you walk across a bridge, fly above water, or hear words that heal your heart? And when you wake, what will you do with that dream? Will you ignore it? Or will you accept the invitation to awaken? The choice is yours. The ripple effect. Remember, awakening through dreams is not just about you and your twin flame. It ripples outward. The more you awaken, the more light you bring into the world. Your healing becomes healing for others. Your courage becomes inspiration. Your mission becomes service. This is why twin flame dreams matter. Not because they promise a happy ending, but because they prepare you to live as your highest self. Closing inspiration. So, if you take one thing from this entire journey, let it be this. Your dreams are sacred whispers from your soul. Honor them. Listen to them. Let them awaken you. And remember, the twin flame journey is not only about union with another. It is about union with yourself, with your mission, with the divine. Your dreams are not distractions. They are stepping stones. Each one carries you closer not just to your twin flame, but to the truest version of yourself. Now I invite you. Share in the comments below. Have you had a twin flame dream that felt like more than just a dream? What did it reveal to you? If this message resonated, subscribe to the channel, because we'll continue exploring the mysteries of twin flames, spiritual awakening, and the hidden language of the soul. And finally, tonight, when you close your eyes, set the intention. May my dreams guide me to truth. Because your soul is always speaking. The question is, will you listen?